And welcome back to the Wicked Wild Podcast, a feral podcast for the uncivilized horror fans. And this week, the MK Ultra messaging came in loud and clear, luring our hosts into the deep, dark highland jungles of Africa. Couldn't be more excited. So before we get into that, let me introduce you to our podcast host for the evening. We're going to start with this block's curator, Eli, up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. How's it going, Eli?
Oh, you know me, just once again, living the dream.
Peddling your influence. I understand. Appreciate it.
I'm just here to teach the masses in any way I know how.
So the big question for you today, Eli, is in a cage match to the death, battle royale style, who are you putting your money on? Is it going to be Joey Pants or Tim Curry?
Oh, man.
I mean, they're both fighters.
You know what? I'm going to say, and I love Tim Curry, but I'm going to say this. With all due respect, I would pick Tim Curry because he's the only man whose teeth looks like they're 8 inches long, but he can still close his mouth. So I'm assuming he's just going to be neck biting.
Yeah. And Tim's seen some stuff. I mean, yeah. Joe has too, but did you notice he was in here? It was obviously Joey Pants. So excited to see him. Not in the credits at all. Completely uncredited. And
he's not?
No, he's not even credited in this.
Nope.
He had a speaking part. And then I started thinking, and I'm like, good for you, Joe.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I was going to say, if there's one thing you don't necessarily want on your IMDb page, may it be the movie with the worst, whatever accent. And I love Tim Curry's voices, but I don't know if he was just having a bad day or has some laryngitis, but that accent,
it was out there.
Ooh.
And he was leaning, and to his credit, every movie I've seen Tim Curry in, he's going to fully commit in a Nicolas Cage level to whatever he's been told to do or directed to do. And then we've got Jaime up in New Jersey, up there in the Garden State. How's it going, Jaime?
What you were about to say, the garbage state, and I was like, "Yep."
Tomato.
I mean, you did fight the whole state. We did a whole campfire tale about it.
Fair.
So
I'm here.
Just a couple of months ago, we got to talk about one of our, the patron saint of horror, Bruce Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So how excited were you to see Bruce in this movie? And then how annoyed were you that he died nearly immediately?
Very and very. Is that very excited? Very annoyed.
Very angry.
All
the people to kill off in the first act.
You'll ask us when we first saw this, all this stuff, whatever. But so I didn't remember he was in it, which led me to believe that he was about to die any second because you know what I'm trying to say?
You never remembered him being in it.
Fuck, I don't remember him being in this. And then I was like, that means he's not in this.
Uh-oh.
That was a big year for him because he also had that shitty volcano movie that same year he did.
Right.
Yep. He was in a lot of stuff there for little short stints. And then last but certainly not least, our Nicolas Cage man himself. How's it going, John?
I wish I had the magnetism Nicolas Cage had.
Magnetism?
Yes.
How would you call that?
Pure
confidence. Pure confidence. A true matchstick man, as they would say.
Ooh, nice. Hope everyone got that one.
Exactly. How's it going up there in Michigan?
Oh, I mean, everything is it's crazy. We're having quite great weather. It's been beautiful summer. Personally, as the year continues, this is a real gem of a year. But other than that, we're plugging along.
I have to say, as somebody who had never been to Michigan until this year, now I've been there 5 or 6 times. The last time I was there, which was a couple of weeks ago, I got up and was at work and then got off work, and it was 98 degrees outside. And I'm like,
welcome to the heat wave.
Good Lord. I mean, I don't know if it's the pocket. Is that a normal thing? Or
well, when it gets humid in the summer, the lakes trap it.
Wait, the heat wave's not hitting everybody though? Like, Dave, you're fine because it's 98 here also, and it was 98 in Texas. Like, I haven't left. I was just in Texas, which is known for also being a fucking swamp of disgustingness. Yeah. But I came back to know better. I think it might be worse.
Yeah, it was 100 degrees a couple days.
Yeah, it's like
in Pennsylvania.
Insane.
We broke 90 today. But no, we're not as hot as y'all are. But we've been in the low 90s. Exactly. The world is literally upside down at this point.
Global warming's real. Isn't that the part? Well, that was the message for this movie, right? Global warming.
Exactly.
I don't know what the message for this
Kind
movie
of.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah.
Global warming and corporate greed. I think this was a parable to try to.
Oh man. Yeah. Everyone be prepared to have the logic stretched on why this movie should be existent.
So to that point, my question for you, John, was because there are many to choose from in this movie because it's a hot plot mess. But who is the real monster in Congo and why is it Amy?
I do not like that.
She was so upsetting.
Amy, don't worry.
I do not. I
don't trust anything that asked me to tickle it that many times.
Exactly.
Fucking yeah.
I mean, she literally watched all the other people get torn to pieces and only stepped in and saved the day when it was her guy. It was being
I would like to point out only one person did tickle her. The one she saved.
Hey. So everybody tickle your apes, everybody.
I was going to say.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Oh, it sure is. If it wasn't 10 seconds ago, it is now.
The next time I'm around you guys in person, I'm going to tickle all of you. So if something bad happens, you'll be like, I got to save Eli. He was tickling me.
I guarantee you, if you tickle me, something bad will happen.
Yes. I was going to say, we are not apes or gorillas.
But you have to save me. That is the rules.
Okay. Oh.
Maybe in the underground with the moles.
So we're doing a 90s of 90s, like a prototypical 90s movie. And we've got a lot to talk about. There's a certain energy that has laid over the podcast tonight. But before we get to that, we do want to give him his due opportunity to vent in his own way, to share his own energies, to give us this week's updates from the paranormal community, a little segment we call The Wicked Whispers.
There is so much happening all of a sudden in the last couple of weeks that I can't go into great detail because there's kind of a few things I want to write off here. First, let's go to the iPhone, people. They've moved the timeline up again, where they're saying like in a year, it's going to be 500 times smarter than the smartest person. For those of you who don't remember, 2 years ago, they said it would take 10 years. So we got 3 good years before the AI took over. NASA also unveiled some plans. They're trying to figure out how to put an AI hub on the moon to control satellites, which doesn't seem like a bad idea at all.
Well, you know why they had to recalculate is because they were making their calculations on humanity staying at a certain intelligence and AI growing from that. Whereas actually we're crossing paths as we get stupider and get smarter.
It's funny you say that because there's all these corporations now who also announced that they're going to implement AI to kind of run the rank and file, which what could go wrong there?
Nothing.
That's not terrible. All these companies are about to unveil their version 2.0 of AI, which seems odd that because AI is supposed to grow. So we're doing different versions now. Like, don't like that. So AI, end of the human race, it seems to be moving swifter than we all expected, especially considering I talked about last time Boston Dynamics coming out their T100 model. A bunch of other companies came forward. It's like, yeah, we have one too. So you'll get, so the surprise will be what flavor of robot's going to murder me. I hope it's the dog one that they kept knocking down the stairs.
I didn't do that to that robot.
No, but it doesn't matter. It's just going to see human and just kick you in the face.
So it sounds like we should just kick them harder then.
So we have that on that front. In the alien front, we have multiple countries, multiple people posting online that you have seen UFO sightings recently in China. There was like 20 odd lights moving around the sky. So at least we know nowhere's safe. Also, some folks who were like measuring the global ice or the melting at the ice caps saw something weird, and they think it's a buried UFO because you see it's like weird silver like disc thing sticking out of like one of the melted ice caps. So if anybody had the thing as the reason the human race ends this year, mark your bingo card because that's not terrifying. That'd be great. What could go wrong there? That's happening. There's a video going around of a leak from this whistleblower who's been on the lam for the last 3 months of an alien that's supposed to be making its way to the broad internet. Can't wait for that.
Perfect.
bunch of cryptid sightings. Bigfoot's been seen running around, which, you know, it's just he's doing. There's been multiple Mothman sightings around the world.
Nice.
And that went so well the last time it happened. Super excited for that.
Where did that happen last time?
Well, you had Point Pleasant, and then
I remember that one.
60 years later, right before the current Russian-Ukraine conflict, many people reported seeing him on the border of Russia.
Awesome.
Which people thought was odd, and then look at the shit show happened there. So people are seeing him like kind of around the world, which that just makes me feel good in my soul. And then for anybody else wondering, like, oh, what type of cryptid could come after us next? The newest videos coming out is apparently fucking ants are a real thing. There's multiple videos of people watching trees move hundreds of feet across like land, and they're trying, like, they don't understand it. Some people are saying, well, maybe it's like mini earthquakes and they're like in isolated areas and they're moving. If you look online, there's a there's a video that's kind of growing popularity, just came out of Africa, where, like, you know how like in Africa they have those weird trees that look like skeletons sticking out of the ground, and you watch this thing fucking truffle shuffle maybe
need to see
200 feet. It's the weirdest fucking thing I ever saw in my life. And the fact that they're like mini earthquakes, I'm like, fuck you. You people know something. The trees are now trying to kill us. If you'd have told me M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening was going to be the movie that came true next, I'd have told you you're wrong, because that's the worst fucking movie in the world. But apparently the trees weren't like, hey, we're going to mental poison you. They're like, we're throwing fists. So
we're coming for you.
Catch these hands, folks. So that's super cool. Super excited about that.
Welcome to the new timeline.
It's awesome. They're currently working on building the largest Hyperloop. So, like, we all saw what happened last time they did this. The Hyperloop tested, Harambe died. Just putting that out there. Just seems like a little weird things happening. And then finally, in my own personal hell, came out this week that there's a breed of spider that is making a way across the U.S. that figured out how to fly.
Yay!
They shit webbing on their feet and then just shoot off in the wind, and they're spreading across the country. So for anybody,
it's like Spider-Man, he's got spider wings.
If anybody had flying venomous spiders on your doomsday chart, fucking tick it off. Right now, people, we're living in a rat race of which shit show is going to shit first. And I'll be honest, not looking forward to any of them.
Have you watched or seen any of the TikToks or reels, the old timeline, new timeline reels?
No.
The one that got me was, there was one that came out this week that I saw where the woman who was hosting it was saying, do you remember old timeline where we all knew for a fact that our heart was just left of our sternum and our kidneys were in our small of our back in the back? And now it's medically fact that our heart is dead center behind our sternum and our kidneys are halfway up our back behind our lungs. Yeah. Look at a medical book now. We all know what we remember from the old timeline, but the new timeline is taking over.
Dave, stop breaking my brain right now.
We got flying spiders. We got walking trees.
Yeah,
welcome to the new timeline.
Listen,
what the fuck?
It's also apparently like the growler bears are growing in population, which the world's largest, most aggressive bear. That's not terrifying. The only thing I hope for is it's like a Godzilla King Kong scenario where like the monsters fight each other. So you have robots fighting trees, spiders are fighting Mothman for some reason. I don't know. They just forget about us. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, you're a Lord of the Ring nerd. We'll take care of the tree things. I mean, I'm not worried about that.
Bro, 12 trees took over Isengard.
I literally talked about the spiders last night and said, like, if this legit happens, like, I will nope right out of here. Like, I will never leave this apartment ever. You will nobody. If
you can see a flying spider.
They have to come out. Yeah, because I fucking that thing. One spider lands on me and fuck everything. I'm never going anywhere.
You know what's super fucked about it? Besides the fact that they're venomous.
Nope.
But they're the size of a banana spider.
Stop it. Just stop.
Banana spiders are like can be up to like 6 inches. Stop. So it's like you're like flying spider dicks are just like floating through the air and like it could just hit you. You're not doing anything, mind your own business, and then they bite, and like it's not enough venomous stuff to kill you, but like it makes you sick apparently. So it's like you're just like walking on the sidewalk. Like, what kind of luck do you have to have that one of these flying assholes hit you, bite
My
you.
luck.
You weren't
My
fucking with
fucking
it.
I was
and
gonna
now you're
say,
sick.
Jamie and I will let you know how our spider bites go tomorrow.
Nope. I'm never stepping foot outside this apartment again.
I will.
It looks like they're in the same family as weaving spiders. They look very much like a weaving
I
spider.
will not even Google
Which
them.
would make
I
sense.
don't even want to see them.
What are these new, Dave? Why am I feeling?
They apparently
These are new timeline weaving spiders.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Well, apparently, if you listen, which I still don't fucking understand this whatsoever, but apparently they were like secluded in like these like small regions in various parts of Asia, and then like they're like, oh, they got into fruit cargoes and made their way over, and I'm like,
I don't know about that, bro. That
they
would
don't eat
happen a
fucking
long
fruit.
time ago.
They don't eat fucking fruit. What does that even mean? Why wouldn't spiders be like, fuck it, I'm on a banana, pick me? Like, that doesn't make sense. Don't even make sense.
They crawled out of the lake at,
All I'm gonna say,
at Skinwalker Ranch. That's where they came from.
What I talked about a couple months ago, all these weird gold orbs washing up on the ocean that look like eggs hatching. They didn't know what they were. Now we got flying green spiders. So
Jamie is not happy with the content.
well, Jamie, I have you ever seen like, you know how like they make those, like they look like tennis rackets, but they're electric because like you're supposed to use to like kill bugs. You ever see those?
No, but that's
Yes.
awesome. But no.
But I literally will build a contraption where like on my waist, like you ever see those things?
Wear it around.
Like those, they're not
An
hula
electric
hoops.
suit.
I need
Yeah,
to be
like-
in a cage. Yeah, I need to be.
Oh,
That's the only
man.
way you get me outside. Like a fucking, I'm just gonna look like I'm in making meth and Breaking Bad. I just put me in like a hazmat suit. Put me in anything because I'm not stepping.
You ever
outside.
see the boy in the bubble?
Yep.
We're
You're gonna have Eli in a bubble.
We're gonna need the shield from Dune for this. Okay.
I mean, not for nothing, but I kind of love the mental image of Jamie and her two cute little pooches in a hamster ball outside going for a
I
walk.
thought you were gonna say all of us in hazmat suits because now I'm envisioning my dogs in little hazmat suits.
Hold on, Dave. Jamie,
Yeah.
would you all share one giant bubble, or
Yeah.
would you be in your
Nope.
own bubble?
Yes.
They
No.
would have their own bubbles.
They stay with mommy.
No, they stay with me.
What? Well, I hope they don't poop or pee inside your bubble.
I'm gonna have a separate little.
The science is kind of loosey goosey,
Yeah, we're not-
John, but don't worry about it.
Because you can't leave holes for it to fall out of, because that's how the flying spiders will get in.
I'm so glad if there's anyone that's bothered to listen to this show right now. This is the best part of the episode. As soon as we start talking about this garbage, hot trash of a
Oh, no,
movie,
this
you
conversation
can turn
is
it
going to
off.
be great. No.
We're going to have fun.
This conversation.
But
is
let's
gonna
get
be
to it so we
something.
get it over with.
And so thank you, Eli. We will continue to not sleep soundly for the next couple of weeks until
Hey,
we get the
imagine
next-
me who like logs all this information to talk about. Like I have a notebook. I write this stuff down as I read it. And like, if you watch from when I started to where I'm at now, it's my writing has turned a nice cursive to the scribblings of a madman.
Mm.
I have to imagine that casual small talk with Eli is on a whole other level.
We were having, listen, I was literally having this conversation at work the other day. Like there were some customers, whatever. And like, they're like, sometimes they're afraid to ask me what's going on or to talk about something.
Because you'll
Like,
tell them.
they'll bring up a topic and I'm like, yeah, do you hear this about AI? They're doing this. And they're like, no. I'm like, y'all read the news, man. What are you doing?
Get your head out of the sand.
Yeah. You're part of the problem.
So on that point, we are going to go back to the 90s to a simpler time.
Oh, fuck.
When movies didn't have to do much, apparently, to get
Nope. They just had to exist.
But before we do that, we're going to do our on the fly synopsis. If you've been with us before, you know what this little segment is. If you haven't, you'll figure it out pretty quick. And my interviewee this evening is Jaime. I couldn't remember who. I think it was Jaime who had to get the synopsis for our last one. If it wasn't, I apologize.
What was
But
our last movie?
It was the
Fourth kind.
Yeah, the fourth kind.
Did I give the
Ooh.
synopsis for that? Maybe I did. I don't know.
We're going to say you did if nobody else
Sure.
remembers, because it's been that kind of week. But my question for you this evening, Jaime, is who was the best fully animatronic character from a movie? And here's your options.
Okay.
You've got Harry from Harry and the Hendersons,
Yeah.
a really solid animatronic character.
Mm-hmm.
You've got E.T., of course.
You
And then
son of
you've
a
got
bitch.
Yoda.
You son of a bitch.
3 classics there. Who's the best? Who's the top of the pile?
Is Yoda really mechanical though?
It doesn't matter. I'm picking E.T.
You son of a bitch.
Go ahead, Eli.
You son of a bitch. I knew it. Well, hey everybody, Congo. It's a fun little ditty about you have a telecommunications company who the CEO sent his son in to recover this liquid diamond to make better satellite arrays. When he was attacked by monkeys, so they trick this scientist with this Tim Curry, whatever accent place he came from, to take the monkey they taught to speak with sign language through a robot that could speak its sign language, that they're going to reintroduce her to the wild so she can teach the other monkeys to talk, which is the plot of Planet of the Apes. Not great. So they go on some misadventures in the jungle and realize that there's killer mutant lava apes that live around this diamond, and shenanigans ensue.
But are there any killer apes in this movie?
Nope.
Well, thank you for that, Eli.
Hey, you're welcome.
And because this is your block of movies, this is number 3 in the Eli watch. Yeah. I'm going to let you go first. Give us the whole backstory of all of that. But really, if you could, just humor me and just start off with the why.
Yeah, of course. So I'll be honest. When I was a kid, I rented this, which I've talked about before. I rented this from like this local place on my grandma's tab. She did not realize the type of movies I was renting. And I, as a kid, loved this movie. I watched it so much. Yeah, jungle, killer apes, loved it. Time has passed. I bet you I haven't watched this movie in 20 years, maybe longer. And every day, like it was on HBO Max for the longest time, and I seemed like, man, I love Congo. I should rewatch it. This seemed like the perfect time, because why not share the joy of this experience with my friends,
with your besties? Yeah,
with my friends. So I used to watch this movie all the time. I loved it. I remember more. So I was talking about this movie. I was all excited to watch it again. Mary was like, "Oh, I've never seen it," and I'm like, "Oh, man,
you in for a
treat?" That's literally. And like,
are you still married?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I'll be honest with you. Like, this movie, not good. It's not great.
Well,
but I don't know if
that
it's because
came around on it.
Good
job.
I don't know if it's because like I hadn't seen it so long, and Mary's never seen it, and like her reactions and us making fun of it. It also probably doesn't help that we watched Dante's Peak before it.
Oh wow!
So
another
like
90s classic.
We were all like riled up and silly. This movie's bad. I still love watching it. We had so much fun watching this movie and making fun of it. I'll be honest, like none of the acting's good. It's terrible. And like the
nobody's arguing with you.
The whole thing, like the Amy and her RoboCop backpack, like it looks terrible. Amy looks terrible. Why they made a monkey with that big of an ass, I'll never understand.
They have to hide the animatronics, bro.
Dude, that was definitely a person in her suit.
She's thick.
The human wearing the backpack of animatronics for her face.
Oh, sure. But like it like its ass was like so like odd, and his legs were so little, which cracked us up. Every time Tim Curry talked, because he says where he's from, but that's not that accent.
Yeah,
and like it almost felt like we were watching the Clue sequel at some points, like his mystery and whatever. I cracked us up. Then you spend 50 minutes of this movie of them traveling through the jungle, and it's like one weird shenanigan experience after the other. The only scene that is visceral is probably that hippo scene, because hippos don't fuck around with hippos. Like that was cool, but like everyone's reactions to it, and the guy that's standing on an inflatable boat on the inflated part shooting this hippo and like not falling in the water cracked me up. Like that makes me laugh. we laughed all through that. And then when you finally, the last 10 minutes, get to the monkeys, and they're the worst looking monkeys. Like the killer apes look terrible. They like looked like they were trying to make demon something apes. And then the other the normal ape family were some of the worst ape costumes and animatronics I ever saw in my life. Amy's boyfriend literally looked like he was one at a backwoods Florida carnival where there are at least 3 children gone missing since they opened yesterday.
Like, you're saying there's a little skunk in that ape? Is that what you're saying?
There's a lot of skunk. And once again, the biggest ass, which I don't understand. Huge monkey ass. And like we had so much fun with this movie. So much so where since we watched it twice, Mary goes, "You want to watch Congo again?"
Oh my god!
I'm like, unfortunately, like, I got homework, I got whatever, but like, I think we're planning on watching it this weekend again.
Mary, are you okay?
We had so fun.
We're here for you.
I get this. I get this relationship now. I finally
with how bad this movie was. Like, I can't tell every time Amy was like, "Oh, tickle me," it's like,
is that what you do when you get home now? Is you just run into the house to Mary and say, "Tickle me"?
No, be honest. I don't do it.
Should. What
happens is like I'll be like sitting there eating, or like
definitely should.
I'll be like working on something, and I'll look over, and Mary look at me and go, "Tickle Amy." And I'm like, the weirdest voice.
No.
But we did. We had such a good time. Like, we had such a good time with this movie. It's terrible. It is terrible, but I love it. I still love it.
I love your defense of it. So, because this is one that we've watched in the past, you've had a similar reaction to. Is this better or worse by your grading system, not by what critics say? Is this better or worse than Maximum Overdrive?
Ooh.
Oh man,
there's only one correct answer here.
That is tough. You know why it's tough for me? Because like it's the similar vibe, but I think it's like 2 separate categories. Like Maximum Overdrive, those people were like people were like trying to take it serious in like the worst way. Where like Congo, you can tell not a single fucking this was all paycheck. Yeah, this whole thing, no one gave a fuck. I think Tim Curry looked in the camera like it was almost like watching an episode of The Office. There was like 4 or 5 scenes where like they cut to Tim Curry and he just goes to the camera, like, "What the fuck are we talking? What are we doing here?" Like, and there's like these scenes where like it felt like they're like, "This is fucking terrible. We should just add funny shit." Like the whole leech on that guy's dick. What was the point of that scene? What was the point of that scene? But they put it in there.
Comic relief, just like you said.
And then like there's a scene where Amy eats all the bananas and like, but no one realizes it. Like, and they're like, why did we watch her steal all those bananas? Like, what was the point of that? And then the skydiving with Amy, because once again, the biggest ass on that monkey costume, and you just watch this guy like flip shit around with a gorilla, like a gorilla tied to him. And then like he lands, like, "Where's Amy?" He's like, "I left her sleeping over there." Yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
It sounds like we have our answer. That Congo is in a very special spot in your life.
It is.
And I'm glad you have it in your life. I'm not so glad I have it in my life now, but we'll get to that.
Listen, what is these monthly picks that we've been doing?
Hey, this is a
shared joy with each other.
Exactly. And we're going to have a fun time. To Jamie's point earlier, we're going to have a fun time talking about it either way. But before we do that, John, you're next on my board. So tell me, was this your first watch of Congo?
No, it was not my first. It was not my first watch.
Is it your last watch of Congo?
No. What year did this movie come out?
95.
95. The last time I watched this movie was in 1995.
So then another 10 years, 20 years, he'll watch it again.
No. So in 1995, I was 14 years old. And this is coming on the heels of Jurassic Park. Young, I could barely understand a Michael Crichton book when you read them. They're like a science book. They're like an instruction manual on like you go to school. This is your textbook. They're kind of boring, but they're kind of awesome if you can get into it. So I was really excited. Oh, the next Michael Crichton book. I'm like, but I was reading, I think, Lost World, his second book, and I had a couple other books. So I couldn't get to the Congo before. I'm like, all right, I'll just go see the movie. So we went and saw the movie. I wasn't one to walk out on movies. This one, I mean, I was 14. I got dropped off. I mean, where am I going to go? I can't watch. It was so bad. As soon as I saw that stupid fucking gorilla, oh my God, so dumb. Like I can remember my visceral gut feeling on how much I dislike this movie. And the movie's got a great cast. Yeah. But I feel bad I didn't have a chance to revisit it before a conversation, but it just wasn't in the cards this week. But I can honestly say I have seen it. It wasn't good. I did not remember this whole satellite thing, but now that once Eli said that, I'm like, oh God, this is so 90s.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those things, like you can tell there was like an antiquated view on what the future would look like. It was kind of like Blade Runner-esque.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, oh man. But yeah, it's everybody just consider yourselves lucky if you haven't watched this. Save yourself the time. Listen to this. Eli is way funnier and entertaining than that movie.
And to your point, and I hadn't really thought about this until I watched it this time and saw a lot of the stuff, did a little research. But yeah, this is fresh off of Jurassic Park, and it's pretty much the exact same crew. Like it's Stan Winston doing all of the design for all these.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, it's almost the exact same crew.
Did he hit his head between Jurassic Park and Congo?
Well, I have some information about that.
Because I don't think he ever saw the backside of a monkey.
Yeah.
Or an ape.
He was not happy
enough on the
this.
butt.
Yeah.
How can you if you stack those monkey asses together, it took up the whole film.
Now I got to look up these monkey asses.
I'll tell you, it was the proportionate side of their ass and how little their back legs were was the most absurd thing I've ever seen in my life. I laughed just thinking about it.
All right, Jaime, save us from ourselves. Is this your first watch? What did you think of Congo?
So, no, I also saw this in theaters in 1995. In fact, I went to see it with my little friends because my mother would not let me see Mad Love with Drew Barrymore, which was also out that year.
Oh, that's hilarious.
At the exact same time, I confirmed this by going on IMDb and seeing the release dates. So, because in my memory, I knew that's what it was, but I was like, let me just for sure before I start spouting facts. But that is absolutely what came out in theaters.
Because it was too racy. I'm just trying to get my mind around.
Yeah, you know how as adults, and I don't have kids, but you realize parents care more about the weird thing. Like she cared more about it being sexual and racy. To be fair, the plot of that movie, if you have not seen it, is Drew Barrymore is like clinically depressed and has some other kind of like mental, like it comes out. I don't know if she has like bipolar. It's a whole bunch of stuff, and they run away to get. It is like a more adult themed in very general, but like, and also at the time, now I love Drew Barrymore. I later became obsessed with her in high school, but like, she also had a reputation. Let's be honest, like at the time, you know. So I think my mom was just concerned. But no, go see Killer Monkeys by all means. That's a better movie for children. So I was mad I couldn't see Mad Love, and I did not sneak into that. I went to see Congo instead. My friends and I went to see Congo. I have no recollection of how I felt about this movie, but let's be honest, I've never rewatched it, so there's nothing about it that intrigued me. However, when Eli put on the list, I laughed. Like I was like, oh, we're gonna have a fucking good time with this, and like whatever. I guess I wish I was sitting on the couch with Eli and Mary because this movie wasn't even entertaining enough to be funny to me. Like, I mean, it's got its moments. Like, we're picking on it now. Yes, I wrote down some things. Fucking Amy having a martini on the plane. Like, these things are fucking outrageous and ridiculous. But those moments, like, in between, it just meanders. Like, there's no... It's important to know this movie is fucking, like, 2 hours. Yeah. And it does not need to be 2 hours. And not only is it 2 hours, but it takes 1 hour and 15 till we get to the killer monkeys, which is what I was told this movie is about. Like, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, where the fuck are these monkeys that I remember? And like, I remember them. I remember seeing them in the theaters. I remember them being white and the eyes. Like, I remember it, but I'm just like, but where are they? Because I at least thought you saw them throughout the movie again, like besides the opening and whatever. But like, I'm like, where the fuck are these fucking monkeys. Like the hippo scene happens. We're just walking through the jungle for a lot. And we're having Amy tell people to tickle her and play tag and drink martinis and have a grand old time, which it's important to note also her backpack. I lost power for like 5 minutes. So I don't know if we discussed it, but like her backpack was like a no fear backpack, which I noticed. I was so fucking 95. I was just like,
oh, hell yeah.
Around with her little no fear backpack and like fucking, so, I mean, I wanted this movie to be so much fucking fun. If we've said this many times about many movies, if the four of us were sitting on a couch and Mary along too, and we're sitting here watching this and Mary seeing it for the first time is probably fucking funny. I mean, I haven't seen it in so many years that like it was kind of like a first time, but like that would have been fun. But like rewatching it, like I was just like, wow, this is bad. Like I just wanted it to end. I was like, it's like, there's a few funny things you can write down, but it's too long for it to be, you're just like, oh, I just want this movie to end. I mean, we'll go through all of our notes about what in this movie is ridiculous. And I know we've already touched on a lot of it, including ape ass, but like, we touched on the accent. We've touched on these things already, but yeah, I think when Eli put this on the list, I thought it was gonna be a fun time. And I was like disappointed that it wasn't nearly as like, even when I put it on, I was like, okay, I got my popcorn, I got ready. I'm like, it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
And it like was not a fun.
Because this was a June release in 1995. It was literally
a summer movie.
It was the popcorn movie for that year.
Yeah. And I was just like, and maybe as a kid, like Eli, maybe I did love it. I don't know. But like I said, I haven't rewatched it. So I can't say that I loved this even as a kid.
If I watched it alone, I'll be honest, if I watched it by myself, I probably would have had the same. I probably would have not liked it nearly as much as I did. But like, we had so much fun watching this and like pointing stuff out, make it fun. The ending when the evil monkeys are jumping around the lava, I just
but I also didn't watch this alone, and I still didn't have fun.
Well, whoever you watch it with just didn't have a good sense of humor then.
I have a pretty great sense of humor. I hang out with you guys a lot, but like this, like, either way, I was excited for this conversation because it's going to be so fucking dumb. And that's the whole point. You know what I mean? Like but it's going to be like the Nick Cage conversations.
Yeah.
Like they're just,
we're going to make it
dumb.
fun either way.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, a lot of these movies we've picked, the conversations have been like better than some of the movies. And I'm even including my own for people who didn't like them. I'm just saying the highlights have been the conversations about these movies. Which is what we're here for. So
exactly.
Don't watch the movies. Just listen to this.
Exactly. And if you get intrigued after our conversation to go see a bad movie and you get annoyed, we told you. Okay.
Yeah.
It's literally what we told you. So for me, this is something that I did see in theaters. It sounds like To the Person we all saw it in the theaters. Yeah.
I didn't because I was rather young.
Rented.
Yeah.
But I rented it.
Yeah.
They're like, what's that? And I'm like, I think it's like a Planet of the Apes movie or something. Don't worry about it.
And to the point we made earlier, I mean, this was the heavy marketing movie of 95. It was the popcorn summer movie because it was the same crew that did Jurassic Park. It was Michael Crichton. And I personally was very excited to go see it because I really enjoyed the book, Congo. Congo is one of his better stories, in my opinion.
It's a really good book.
Andromeda Strain, Congo, and then the other one that I really liked that also was disappointing in a movie form was Fear. But I was really stoked to see this because they had done such an amazing job with Jurassic Park. And I got it and saw this movie and I was just disappointed. I was just kind of annoyed by it. Because it's nothing like the book. I mean, literally they took a complicated, convoluted, science-heavy book and then added 3 plots to it. I'm like, I don't know why. I don't just understand the whole Tim Curry thing, not in the books at all. That character did not exist in the book.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I still to this day don't know what the point of him was at all.
Yeah.
To add another person. I mean, literally, that's the only thing. He doesn't serve any purpose.
It was so weird. I'm like, what is happening? But I was disappointed. The story makes very little sense because it is just an overstuffed plot that is a mess to start with. If you're going to start, and I'm not saying like Crichton is rarefied air. I mean, he's an author on the same level, in my opinion, as King or Grisham or Clancy. So it's not like he's some great literaturalist. But if you're going to take one of his stories and then start adding crap to it, at least make it make sense. Because the thing I always liked about Crichton is it was science-based concepts. I mean, they were high concepts and they were very fantasy science fiction, but there was a lot of science mumbo jumbo. There was a lot of terminology and loose concepts that he was using in them. This has none of those, like literally down to the Nintendo Power Glove sign language thing. It's like the biggest science thing that was happening in this. And this is 95. I mean, we already knew that the Nintendo Power Glove was lame. And yet they're using it as like the pinnacle of science in this movie. This movie is, and the thing I did enjoy about it, Eli, in my watch, was just how absolutely 90s this movie is. I mean, it is a time capsule. And I started thinking, because I look back, obviously I was an adult in the 90s because I'm the old fart on the podcast, but I look fondly back, and I have a lot of nostalgia and a lot of sentimentality about the media of the 90s, the music, the books, the movies, all of that stuff. But if you look at 1995, that literally was a completely different kind of, from 90 to 95 was completely different than 96 to 99. Like 96, the summer popcorn movie was Independence Day. And we got Scream, and we got there was this
great year.
This was a huge shift from what we had gotten up to that point. I mean, it was like the CGI had finally kind of caught its next level when we got Independence Day and those kind of things. But this was, people were still struggling to kind of find that in 95. And if you go look at the 95 movies, it's kind of interesting, to the point that Jaime made too. I mean, the teen romances weren't teen romances. They were all they were dealing with heavier stuff. They were trying to start to articulate bigger stories, but they weren't finding it yet. But this movie just was a complete miss for me. It just didn't do anything for me. The one thing, other than this movie being so 90s, it invested all of its savings in Beanie Babies. The only other thing I really enjoyed about this movie was Ernie Hudson. I mean, Ernie Hudson was just friggin' chewing scenery the entire movie and looked like he was having an absolute blast doing it. Like literally his line of "the great white hunter has arrived, and by the way, he happens to be black." It's like the best line in this movie. And I have to imagine he probably came up with that himself. Because I think if I did the trivia right, that role was supposed to go to a white actor, but Ernie did such a good job with it that he won it. And that line just tickled me, because he is so good at it, because he is having a good time. He is the Jeff Goldblum of this movie. Like, he's just having a blast. He's along for the ride. He's not taking himself seriously at all. And that part I enjoyed, because that felt very fun. Everybody else trying to make this higher scientific movie on guerrilla armies just didn't do a thing for me. But that's my overall thoughts on it. Like Jaime just said, I'll reiterate what she said. What I'm here for tonight is the conversation. So, Eli, as this is your movie, you can start us off. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to deep dive onto? You have questions? You have scenes you want to break down? What do you got?
I think to start this conversation, we have to go to the end of the movie.
Okay.
Because work ourselves backwards.
Just tell me your all thoughts when, like, you finally get this and you get to Monkey Village or whatever it was.
I honestly can't even remember it. So
it's Monkey Cave. We'll tell you it's Monkey Cave.
Monkey Cave Village. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ewok Village in a cave.
And they're all
monkeys.
The worst looking monkeys. They all like shuffle out of their holes. And when that volcano blows and like it's then just 5 minutes of watching monkeys jump in, like they're willingly jumping into the lava.
Yeah.
Like
what?
That's how this movie ends.
Cannonballing
they're
into
like,
the lava flow.
And like they're like,
okay.
And you see them run along their little archways, and it just like there's a little lava flash, and it's like,
they
like
jump, yeah.
And like that's how this movie ends, for the killer monkeys.
So
Well, no, then we have to deal with the volcano chasing that, like breaking, like it's just like the monkeys, the monkey cave. Okay, like let's just So we all saw the trailer for this movie when we were in like with 13, whatever ages we were, as we just said, 14, 13, whatever,
23, whatever.
Sorry, Dave, and I don't know what age Eli was when he saw, probably younger, but
probably
like
4.
So let's go back. We saw this trailer back in the good old days of trailers or commercials. And you said, like, I'm going to get these fucking killer monkeys that are going to rip people apart in a cave.
1 second, Jamie. Do we have trailer announcer guy voice?
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, it's 95. We have trailer announcer guy telling you how these killer monkeys are going to come for you in this cave.
In a world where the monkeys live in a cave.
So we're sitting down, we're excited to get these killer monkeys. And now an hour and change goes by and there's no killer monkeys. But we get to the killer monkeys. We've been waiting for these killer monkeys. And now I'm treated to like the most shaky cam fucking spliced images of killer monkeys that I've ever seen, because either their fucking special effects were so horrible that they couldn't even like pull this off. I was, as an adult right now watching this, like livid that I finally get to these fucking monkeys, finally an hour and 15 minutes into this movie. And now I just get, I mean, besides them coming out, like we said, and besides them throwing themselves into lava, we get all these just cut scenes and maybe body parts and whatever of monkeys ripping people apart because they can't show these monkeys. And like, I think they did in the beginning too. Same thing, right? Like you didn't see, but in the beginning, it's like, I don't know, because again, the trailer told, but in the beginning, I assume they don't want you to exactly know what they are. Like you're like, what attacked these people? Even though I'm sure the trailer told us they were killer monkeys, and that's why we all went to see it.
I remember the trailer because like it's that scene. It was in the trailer, that scene where like they're sitting there, like that red face pops up, that killer monkey face. Like that was in the trailer. And like Mary, I think, watched the trailer before we watched the movie. Lean up to it. And so
that's a good idea.
Just put yourself. She's never seen it, right?
Right. Yeah. You gotta know what you're getting into.
Right. We finally get the monkey village. And she's like, "Oh, they're gonna have to fight." The end of the movie. They're like, "Oh, they're gonna have to fight their way out. These monkeys are all like swarming around and like cutting around." And then what's her face pulls out her laser cannon.
A laser.
And she's like, "What?" And she like, but then stuff happens, whatever. List. And like, she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, now they're gonna have to."
Great zinger, Dave.
She's like, "Oh, we're gonna watch Amy fight her way out of these monkeys." And then
Amy's like gone, right? Wait, just for the record, Amy's like gone in this scene, right?
Well, no, she pops up real quick when they're about to kill.
Or whatever.
It was like, "No, he's my baby." Like, that weird thing. And so we're like, okay. So she's like, "Oh, we're gonna see some monkey fights now." And literally that lava stuff, and they're like bananas in pajamas just launching themselves, and like literally she turns, she goes, "What the fuck is this?" What's like, "This isn't the ending, is it?" And I was like, "What if I told you the real villain all along was a volcano?"
Whoa.
Then the volcano proceeds to chase the rest of them.
Yeah, exactly. But then it does like the Lord of the Rings.
So they can outrun the volcano.
Right. But which does like the Lord of the Rings thing where like, when they throw the ring.
Know.
Oh, well, Lord of the Rings, like they throw the ring in the movie. Like one of the weird parts was like they threw the ring in the fire. Well, then the ground collapsed in like all of Mordor. But like, except for where like the good guys were standing. And like, that's basically like you're watching them like run as this is all sinking. And then they just get to a spot and it just sinks all around. They're like, "We made it. Good thing you got your laser gun."
Yeah,
I think Amy can talk to ugly monkeys or whatever. What she calls things ungly,
bad
right?
monkeys.
She doesn't call them mean. Oh, she says bad. I thought she says ugly at one point.
She says that to the girl when they're on the plane.
Well, she calls her ugly. Yeah,
like, "You ugly."
But, yeah, when she's drunk on her martini, guys.
Yeah. Which, how much of this movie were like they drug in Amy? They're like, "Oh, we give her."
Oh, they were always doping.
They're like, we give her drinks before bed to calm her down. And then that one guy's like, "I stuck some sleeping pills in his banana so we go skydiving."
The martini, I just can't. Like they literally serve her a martini with a little olive.
And you see him like shaking it.
Calms her down. Yeah. It calms her down. Like,
and what she call it? Her green juice.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember that part. I remember her calling the girl ugly, and I remember. And he has to agree. He's like, I just had to. Yeah. Let's not make the monkey jealous. Let's not make the monkey jealous.
We have a 250-pound primate running around an airplane. Maybe she insults some people.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That they just sat in the seat like a normal person.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not only that, this whole movie treats Amy like she only weighs about 100 pounds. And
Exactly.
I'm confused because I'm pretty sure that's not monkey weight.
Nope.
Ape weight, gorilla weight. Because there was like one scene where they literally just pick her up with no problem. And I'm just like,
Exactly.
I don't think that's accurate.
That doesn't work that way.
The fact that he shared a tent with her, I don't care how much you're like an ape handler. They're like, I'll be like, well, we gotta take her cage for sleep. He's like, no, her and I will share a tent, sleep bag. And they're like cuddling. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
They're tickling in there.
That's right. They're
Lord.
Well, when they're in the Jeep in the airport that's in a violent coup, you know an actual gorilla is going to start tearing people's arms off.
Right.
Well, not Amy. Amy's a good monkey. Good
all
monkey.
These chaos scenes. There's like all these chaotic scenes, and she's just like walk around like, what's going on here? Are you guys monkeying around?
Yeah. She does do that a lot. She's always just like there. She's never helpful. She's just there. Like I don't like.
She was limited by animatronic budget.
I mean, I don't mean to pick on animals because we know I'm like an animal lover. But to be fair, I think I made it clear here, maybe not. My least favorite animal on the planet is the monkey/ape, and maybe because they're so close to people, they're just like my least favorite. But you know, like for as dumb as the animatronic, they made Amy kind of cute. Like there are moments where her face, she was like kind of cute, and I felt like a little bad for her. And then I realized this is just like a robot. But like. They like again, she's like she really does nothing in this whole like she's just kind of there running around with her little no fear backpack on like and her glove.
And, like she runs
away. They take a long time to put the glove on. Yep. Like she can talk basically. You have a fucking gorilla that can talk.
Yeah.
And they spend I don't know how many days without even putting it on her for the first like.
And you have two people there that speak sign language, which makes the whole mechanics of the glove completely useless.
And the fact that, like, well, she'll use this to teach the other apes how to talk. I'm like, what? You're going to give them all backpacks?
Does the apes speak English?
Like, are you going to give them all? They're like, oh, if they don't know sign language, at least you can, don't worry about it.
Sure.
She'll use the sign language to teach them English, so that she can use the English to teach them
the sign language. Right.
Perfect. That makes sense. That makes
perfect sense.
I mean, Amy, like, I don't even know what the point of Amy was as part of this movie because, like, she constantly runs away.
Yeah,
and then like, while they're like running from the killer monkeys, like she's out like finding a new boyfriend.
Oh yeah,
yeah, she is. Yeah, she is.
And she's like, he got a bigger dump truck than me.
She's out there singing No Scrubs.
Yeah.
She's doing. Well, and the funny thing is, like I said, I really enjoyed the book. I do still recommend the book. It's a
book
great
was
story.
fantastic.
So what happened in the book versus this? What was the difference?
There were several. I mean, the main concept was the taking Amy to the jungle to release her back into the wild, which logically still doesn't make any sense to me. You have a domesticated animal that you take and just dump in the middle of the jungle.
Like it's used to
be dead in a week. I mean, that's not to be morbid, but anyway. But then the whole diamond mine and corporate greed that was overlapped on it. But like I said, the whole Solomon, I think it was mentioned, but there wasn't like a Indiana Jones greedy hunter out there. But it was mainly about the politics of the Democratic Republic of Congo. You know, the politics of always being overthrown by the next worst guy, and then then it was about gorillas. To be honest with you.
Nice.
But what I was going to say is in the book, the whole river crossing with the hippos friggin' blew my mind because up to that point, and I think it's less this way now, but up to that point, hippos were that goofy animal you saw at the zoo that looked like an overweight pig, like a giant pig. And then you read this book that tells you that is the thing that people fear more than anything else in the Congo. Yeah. Like it is the worst animal to come across. And then it gives some really clear descriptions of why you don't mess with them at all. And then I was getting really excited to get to see that on the screen, and when you see it, and while it's still one of the better action scenes of this movie, it's a huge disappointment because literally you got guys with flare guns and rifles shooting and hacking. And I mean, in the book, people were literally getting torn apart. Like
because it was like a herd of hippos in the book.
Yeah, and they just destroyed the boats.
2 hippos.
But that was the first time in a story I'd seen hippos as anything other than this really goofy cartoon animal.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't ballerina outfits dancing around.
Exactly. Okay. I do appreciate the Fantasia reference, though.
Hey, that's what we're here for. Oh, man. Now, before we go too far, before I forget, Jamie, I know you don't like apes/monkeys, but did you ever see Steve Zahn
Great
as Bad Ape?
What? No.
Oh, man. I know it'd be hard for you to sit through, but in War of the Planet of the Apes, Steve Zahn plays one of the CGI apes.
One of your favorites, Steve.
Oh, no.
He is a ape that escapes from the zoo, and he's
wait, which Planet of the Apes is this?
It's the third one.
In the new,
the new ones.
I did see it, but once because there was a period where I went through them.
Okay.
And did watch them, but now I don't remember. So now I'm gonna have to fucking
because every time I've watched it, and then he shows up, he's amazing. But I know how much you love Steve Zahn, and I do think of you.
I think you could probably just YouTube the Oh No Ape.
No, but that's not the best part. The best part is when he comes out to the entrance and he's all dressed up because he gave his clothes to the little girl. And he's got a brand new hat and he's got boots on, Jamie. He's got boots and a jacket.
So and he's even closer to a person now.
Anyone to tickle him.
Oh, well,
no,
that's good.
That's where things went wrong.
He gives the best thumbs up in the world, Jamie, and it just melts your heart. And then we get to the oh no. The oh no comes later, and it's great.
God. No tickling still. He's not saying oh no because someone wants to tickle.
Tickle Amy.
Which it seems kind of crazy, but of all the movies involving apes and monkeys, I think this was the first time that not only did a monkey constantly or ask to be tickled, that she was asking to be tickled every 5 minutes.
Yeah, like she's got a real problem. She needs to see.
She's drinking. She's apparently having nightmares about an eye. She always wants everybody to tickle her. Huh? She's jealous of women around her handler who they share a tent. I don't know. It's just a little weird.
There's a good chance that Amy would have been canceled in the 20
for sure. For sure.
Speaking of Amy, I guess, which she is in the whole movie. Except when she's running away all the time. There's some pocket where I'm gonna come back, but there's some pocket where she's just gone for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I'm just like, what the hell happened to Amy? I thought she was an important part of this movie. But because you discussed the ending, you said how it ends, but no. You didn't say how it ends, which is her watching the love of her life after she gives him flowers. This is a gorilla.
She breaks up with him.
She gives him flowers and he gets on a fucking hot air balloon, guys. This is
she breaks up with a man?
And she
basically.
Watches him. She watches him longingly as he drifts away.
Did they leave the robo arm with her?
No, but you are also forgetting the part where before that, the lady uses her space cannon to blow up this telecom company satellite
that's right.
in space.
From Africa.
And then when they go on the hot air balloon, she takes out what they keep calling the liquid diamond, which isn't liquid, and goes, can you just chuck that somewhere in the jungle?
It. Yeah. Which, speaking of the Titanic, speaking of the diamonds, listen, we know that there's messages, I guess, behind some movies and whatever, and blah, 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 blah. But none of these people picked up a fucking diamond. They are just laying there for the taking, like hundreds of diamonds. I'm not even asking you to clear out this cave. I'm saying
one person did.
One of those in your fucking pockets.
One person did.
Yeah, I know. And he got, I know.
He got beaten to death by the cave people.
I'm just saying, none of them fucking tried to grab these, except for the guy that we knew was going there for them, right? He's the right? Isn't Tim Curry's the one who picks him up, and we know that he's going there for them, and he got greedy. But I'm just saying, you have all these people, you have all this mayhem, and none of you are picking up a goddamn diamond. Do you know how much that will set you? How that will take care of you?
They had to outrun the volcano, Jamie,
and the death monkeys,
and they only had one las cannon. To fight them with.
I cannot stress enough, or maybe I have.
Why wouldn't she just cut down them all?
How little Killer Ape is in this fucking movie.
Exactly.
I'm baffled. Even talking about it, I'm baffled by it. It's maybe how long do you think that scene is? 7 minutes? Is that being generous?
Yeah.
The scene at the end before they start jumping into the lava.
Yep.
So Dave did go down a long rabbit hole about the apes. Here's what I found. That's
okay.
Helps color this and all. So first, the whole plan, apparently, according to Frank Marshall, the director and the production team, the whole plan, because like I said, this is the same crew that did Jurassic Park. They were going to do another summer blockbuster movie, high effects movie. So their plan was to, with the special effects team that had done Jurassic Park, to just do all the apes in this movie, including Amy, CGI. Like it was going to be ultra lifelike, ultra realistic. They were excited to bring this technology because that's what they knew people wanted. And then they got there and realized that it's still 1993 and there's not a computer on the planet that can do lifelike hair. And all of these creatures are completely covered in hair. So that lasted for like 90 days before they realized there's no way we can't do this. Everybody would have plastic hair. Can you imagine a bunch of CGI apes in 95?
I couldn't. It would be like Dragon Ball characters in the middle of your live action movie. It'd be kind of cool, actually. For the time, I mean, they might have been able to pass. But, oh man! And once you said that, Dave, I started thinking about like, could you imagine if in the right timeline, because whatever timeline we're in now apparently is the wrong one.
Exactly.
But if we were in the right timeline for Jurassic Park, they would have all had feathers, and imagine how bad the CGI would have looked then.
Oh yeah, exactly. It would have been a totally different movie. So because of that, because they couldn't do kind of plan A, plan B was Stan Winston comes to the rescue, because Stan Winston can do no wrong. He built and designs all of these creatures. They changed the killer apes, the gray apes. They change them like on a daily basis. While Stan's trying to sculpt them, the director and producers are constantly changing to him, to the point that he finally had to tell them, look, you're going to get what you get, because at this point we are out of time. So he puts them together. He designs all the animatronics, really complicated systems and all of that, brings them to set. And then the director introduces Stan Winston to the set, which is a stark, harshly lit red cave. And I think literally what I read was Stan said, "What the F is this? We're supposed to be in the jungle with natural light and foliage and ways to trick with shadows and lights to sell the apes that I've been designing for you for the last 2 years. Well, we changed it up in writing, and now we have this cave that we're putting him in." He goes, "Yeah, you've got a cave with nothing to obscure the apes that I've designed and no way to change the lighting or add shadow or anything." So Stan was livid. But that's why you end up with very little bit of the gray apes in the movie, and they look like dog doo-doo. Because an artist did what an artist could do, and the director thought he had a different idea.
That's why we ended up with the choppy, shaky cam.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that scene where they're running, like I think you're supposed to feel like the camera's like, because all these monkeys are like running around making the ground shake. But then like when you actually see them, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then it's almost like the director at the end was like, fuck it, just how are we going to this? I don't know. They just all jump in the lava. Yeah. Why? I don't know. Just fucking have them jump in the lava. Literally, the one like does like a flip. He like flips into it like he's like fucking at the Olympics, about to dive right in.
That stunt man was earning his pay. He was going to get his little trick in there. Well, and if you think about it, after I read that, I was thinking about Jurassic Park, and the ones we remember. The dinosaur reveals are when they're kind of in the environment, like you did brontosaurs and coming out of the lake and all that. But if you think of even the velociraptors in the kitchen or inside, those look kind of rough now. Those are the only ones that really don't hold up anymore, because it's so hard to do that right when there's no control of how to cheat some stuff with lighting and everything. But when you think about it, first off, gorillas wouldn't be in a cave. So I don't know how we got there.
Well,
clearly you haven't seen Godzilla cross Kong, Dave.
They explain it, Dave, because King Solomon was like, we need to have something guard my diamonds. And they're like, what do we? He's like, I don't trust people. People steal diamonds. He's like, hey, see all these weird monkeys around? Let's train them to guard the diamonds. And we'll make them live in this little cave village that we're going to throw all of our diamonds in the center.
Of course.
Why not?
Yeah.
And they'll guard our diamonds. And they were like, oh, that's a great idea, King Solomon. But then the people died. But the apes were like, well, what are we supposed to do? Because we're going to keep teaching our young to guard these fucking diamonds for some reason in our weird little cave system.
It looks like a little cave apartment building when
Yeah,
they all come out. When they all come out, or a hotel. You know, in the hotel we have like the main lot, like hotels that are built, like these really old ones that like have the main square lobby, and when you look up, you can see like all the floors.
It's Melrose Place. Like if you put a pool in the middle of it, that's Melrose Place with gorillas.
I literally told Mary while we're watching it, I was like, "Doesn't this seem like a scene out of the Flintstones? Not
exactly,
not a Killer Ape movie."
Well, and in the books, the Guardians or the Gray Apes, Killer Apes, whatever you want to call them, they're actually genetically engineered gorilla / chimp / human hybrids.
Yep.
Well, that would make more
sense. Not mentioned at all in this.
No. Speaking of Jurassic Park, I did spend most of the movie doing the classic. I know Dave does too, but there will be gorillas in your gorilla movie, right?
Exactly.
I said at least 4 times because like you cannot. First of all, if Dave's like me, I use it every time something. I use it during the new Halloween when Michael Myers didn't fucking show up for like an hour of the movie. I literally sent gifts out to people saying like, you do have Michael Myers in this Michael Myers movie, right? But like, that's what it feels like. It's like it's the perfect opportunity to use that fucking Jurassic Park.
It's the only thing on your movie poster. It's all everybody talks about, and it takes us forever to get there.
I remember when this came out, they partnered with one of the fast food chains, and they did
of course they
Congo toys, and like they were all monkeys.
Of course.
And then like I think 7-Eleven had the Congo Slurpee cup, which had a fucking monkey on it. Or you like drank out of a monkey head or some shit. And like this, they're like, man, these monkeys are work. What we're gonna do? Well, let's have them get held up during takeover. Okay. We'll have what's his face like do this weird hoot noise because he's trying to hook up with the blonde. All right. We'll put a leash on his pecker because that happens.
It's a funny joke, right?
What else could we do? Let's have them 007 shoot flares at missiles.
I have that in my notes. I was going to ask that. They are shooting. Wait, yes. That is my question, right?
Well,
they're shooting fucking flares at. Are they heat-seeking missiles?
Yeah. Well, they're shooting the flares out so the heat-seeking missiles are
okay. That was my question because at first it looks like they are literally have the fucking shot of a expert marksman of like they're
the missiles going to the flare.
Yeah, jets literally do that now. Like that's a defense system for jets to like shoot flares out the back.
Yeah, so that
but they did it so shittily that it literally looks like they were like, let's just blow these missiles out of the sky with our flare guns.
I mean, and no offense to the actor, but is Laura Linney ever going to be believable as an ex-CIA field agent?
No.
Well, do you like when she like try to get mad, threaten people? It's almost like was watching like a 3-year-old be like, "I'm gonna do what I want." Because like when she was like arguing with the CEO, she's like, "Don't tell me you're sending me out there for a diamond and not to rescue your son."
If I find out at all,
I'll make you regret it. And then at the end, like she's on that video. We all know that's what he was doing. Like
exactly.
Like, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, your son died." He's like, "What about them?" He's like, "What did I tell you? I was gonna make you regret this." Space laser gun. Shoot the salad like a fucking Ghostbuster thing, like her blue liquid diamond space gun. Which the other thing too, like she literally shoots like 3 monkeys with it and like kills, like cuts off their arm stuff. Then she's like, "We gotta run." It's like, just fucking diddly wave that fucking thing. Like you can literally take out all these monkeys with a fucking like you have a laser cannon. She's like, after 3 shots, she's like, Eli,
she doesn't have to worry about it because they're going to go diving into the lava anyway. She's like, I took care of enough. We're good.
Yeah. Like I learned in the CIA a long time ago that if you want to know apes' greatest weakness, lava. They're just attracted to it.
They just get suicide. They just get a suicide right in.
Like a moth to the light. They'll just jump right in. They can't help themselves.
For a movie that takes so long to get to what everybody thinks is the point. Like Eli just said it. There nothing exciting. Maybe besides the hippo thing, like Dave said, like of the action scenes, it's the most exciting, but it's still not great. But like they don't even make anything else really exciting. Like the flare, like nothing is like
none of the war that's going on.
Like the war, like nothing is exciting in this movie to be like, okay, well I haven't gotten the apes, but at least like this is fucking cool, or this scene is tense or whatever. Like it's just like get, like, you're so aware that there's no apes because nothing else is going on. Exactly. If it was an exciting movie, you might be like, oh, fuck, I forgot. I thought this movie was about like.
And now we get apes too?
Yeah, and then you get the apes. But instead, it's just like you're sitting there like, where are they?
The problem is nothing looks good. No. Because like, even like when they find Bruce Campbell's dead body.
Yeah, it's
like
plastic skeleton.
It looks so bad. It didn't even look like Bruce Campbell. It looked like a gag you would see in Tales from the Crypt, like when they cut the Crypt Keeper, and it looked like one of those gags. It's like, and he still got the fucking chocolate bar out, which I don't understand. They're like I get product placement, but it's like it was like absurd. Like his somehow desecrated, sunken body in his fucking Hershey bar,
but the chocolate survived.
Yeah.
The other product places is we got 1995 Taco Bell in there.
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah, we did.
And is there anything more 90s at all than seeing Grant Heslov in a movie? Like just when he was the Richard character in this. He's the guy that was helping with Amy that was just didn't want to be there, was miserable.
Oh, that dude. Yeah, I know him.
He's
I was just like, yeah, all right. He's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes.
But the only one I can ever think of that he was in was True Lies. Like that's the character that I always think of when I see Grant Heslov.
I don't even know what I thought of when I saw him.
But this may shock you, Dave, but I'm pretty sure he was the same guy in every movie in the 90s.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Yeah. I think he was actually, wasn't he in Dante's Peak too?
Yep. He sure was. Gosh. And like, it literally, he has the same face when like that guy is like driving his.
He never wants to be there.
Through the river, and then he's just like, woo! If he gets like third down the river, that guy's like, oh, man, I'm here. You're like, all right, guy.
But the best cameo in this movie is, the jet that brought them all to Africa, and then they had to hastily get out of it, and the pilot runs past them and says, we got to get out of here. Mm-hmm. That's Jimmy Buffett, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know if he was friends with Crichton, but he shows up in a lot of Crichton movies.
Oh yeah, isn't he in oh no, wait,
Jurassic World?
Yes, thank you. I was going to say Jurassic, but then I was like, no, he's in the newer one. But okay, yeah.
I don't know if I don't know what the story is there, but I did get tickled, and I had to go confirm it because he has like a one line as he's running out. I'm like, well, that was weird that they gave the pilot a line, but then you realize it was the man himself.
It was weird. What's his fucking face was in it as like he was in two scenes. The guy that was like helping like at the airport, he's like driving the little airport car.
Oh yeah. Dang it.
I can't think of his name, but like, it's crazy that guy was in this. He's literally two scenes where he's like, shows up and goes, yeah, I got all your stuff ready. Bye. You're like, why are you fucking in here? Like
Delroy Lindo.
Yes. And like the fact that like, cause like he was in The Sopranos, he's in a bunch of stuff, but like the fact that like they didn't like even kill him with a monkey. He's just like this guy that was kind of established, shows up twice for two seasons, like, I got your stuff set up later. I got you a million guns to fight these monkeys with.
Yeah.
You know nothing about. Oh, sorry. No, Dave.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying I know nothing about like skydiving or jumping out of planes, but I'm just going back to my point a little earlier. But I feel like just putting a giant gorilla on your back and jumping out of a plane.
Not on. Probably, it was on his chest.
Oh, on his chest.
Yeah, she was hugging him.
I don't know.
Yeah. But was unconscious from the drugs. Yeah.
Wait, are you sure she wasn't drunk from the martini?
No, he there's a scene where he like tears a banana in half and like puts like 4 Quaaludes in it. And then he's like, oh, I think we'll have to drug her to this next part. The guy's like, well, we don't know how she's gonna react. And he was like, do you want a banana? And no one stopped him. And Amy's like, oh, Amy has drug problem. Amy loves narcotics. Like, oh, no.
Poor Amy.
And then immediately just like, and then like they strap him on this like 300-pound gorilla. And you like,
so they just pick her up.
Watch him just like go out.
And
hey, man.
Gotta love
as people are shooting rocket launchers.
Of course.
At their plane.
Why not? I mean, hey, you saw it happen.
That's true.
I did love seeing Joe Don Baker in this, and it cracks me up every time. He's tried it a couple of times. Anytime he tries to play an intimidating or scary character, I just get tickled. Because Joe Don Baker is not intimidating,
and he has a career of it.
He's the corporate guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He has a career of being like this, like ruthless
Eddie.
guy. And every time, like, he's like that in real life, one of those people that like comes up and tries to, and like you can't help but laugh out loud. You're like, what is this fucking Teletubby doing? Like saying, like, what even is this?
Get out of my face. Okay.
And he like always does this like truffle shuffle shake when he's like yelling. You're like, what the fuck is this?
I just can never take him seriously.
No.
I love seeing him though. He's like,
oh yeah. But you ever notice too, whenever he's trying to play angry, he doesn't actually look angry. He's just like, his voice just gets louder, but not like yelling, just loud.
He just articulates more.
Yeah. I am very angry. Like, all right.
Thank you for the extra enunciation.
Simmer down there, Joe Don.
Do you know how we're struggling to be a telecommunications company? I need my liquid diamond. And you mean to tell me that a bigger company didn't know about this like fucking diamond that could make a space laser? Exactly. The military didn't know about a space laser diamond? And you think you're the first?
James Bond knew. We knew that much.
Oh yeah.
So any other thoughts on Congo?
I think we covered the whole 2 hours.
Fucking burn it.
There's not much to talk about.
I just kind of love that this is going to be a anniversary watch for my buddy Eli and his wife Mary. That literally makes my heart warm that this is now a fun little meme within your family.
We laughed so hard, and like we kept making fun of, like, the tickle me thing, and then like she's getting some texts from me. She's getting gifts. And I forgot like a lot of stuff that happened, and like just be like, oh yeah, and, like looking at her, she's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
This was a fucking major studio release movie of the summer. I can't. Like,
I told her, I said,
a success. I mean, I looked it up. It was.
I said, you know who made this? She's like, no. I was like, well, I said this was a Michael Crichton book. She's like, who's that? And I'm like, he wrote Jurassic Park. She went, what? I said, do you know who a lot of the folks who made this movie? She's like, yeah. I was like, they also made Jurassic Park.
It's insane because, like, I'm saying this objectively. Jurassic Park was one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
That's right. I made that objective statement. But, like, and to think that this is, like, it doesn't even come close. Like, it doesn't even on all levels, like acting and special effects, like we've discussed, and story and writing and plot. I don't even care how many holes are in Jurassic Park. I'm sure there's 1,000. It's still done so much. But Jurassic Park, like, is still exciting the whole way through. Like, even if you're waiting for dinosaurs, which they show up a lot sooner in that movie. But I'm just saying, like, anytime there isn't a dinosaur, that fucking car in the tree, like, everything in that movie is exciting and fun. And, like, you know, and then this one is like, let's just walk through the jungle a little bit. I don't know, let's fucking walk through the jungle some more. I
got a leash on my wiener. Oh, okay.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Yeah, hey, just burn it with my cigar. Oh, okay.
Sure.
I'm going to go back to bed with my monkey now.
I will say that this pretty well killed Frank Marshall's career as a director, because he had some good movies coming up to this, but after this, he didn't make anything but a lot of TV series and documentaries. What
was he known for?
Arachnophobia. He was the director of Arachnophobia.
Which, once again, is such a good movie.
Yeah. He also did Alive, if you remember the...
Oh, yeah.
That was him, too. So he was on a trajectory, but this pretty much put an end to that. So
it's crazy that with Arachnophobia, what did he learn Arachnophobia? I have a lot of spiders. And this one, he's like, nah, fuck it. We can get away with 6 monkeys.
Fuck it.
So what killed his whole movie was hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, I think it was a little bit more than the hair. I think it was the hair. I think it was the weird accented guy that made no sense what he was doing. That didn't help.
Adding 12 plots.
Adding a bunch of
none matter.
A lot of casting choices were questionable. Also, why did a lot of the set design look like sci-fi films, like from the Sci-Fi Channel? Like that like the telecommunications headquarters. I think I've seen that same one in like any sci-fi movie. That like, well, at least X-Files made it look good. Like this, I've seen this in like Sharknado 11.
Yeah,
like they're all at the weather center.
It's like someone's closet, and like it's just
like it looked terrible, and everything's silver for some reason.
Of course,
yes, of course. And
it's the 90s. Future silver is future.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And scientific, anything to do with science, whatever. These gotta be silver.
Can't have
clean.
Can't have color.
Mechanical, silver.
I'm like you,
Technology,
Dave.
silver.
Like I would recommend people that aren't going to watch this expecting this to be silly to have a good time, which is 95% of the people.
Yeah.
I would recommend reading the book because the book was really good.
It is a good book.
I'm sure the book
definitely
is
in my top 3 because like I also liked, and I can't remember the name of it, but he did one with a shark that they put a conscious in.
Deep Blue Sea.
Was he? No, he didn't know the shark one. It wasn't Deep Blue Sea.
See if I can catch
that was close. I think you almost had him. You were like that. You were that close.
Deep Blue Sea has a subhole. That's not what we're talking
sure
about.
does.
Right. It does have a sub
and a foul-mouthed rapping pirate.
While Eli's trying to look up this other book, I just want to say we may have a good anniversary gift that we could chip in on that I found when I was trying to look up your monkey butts. I wanted to because I hadn't seen it since 1995, but I feel kind of bad for young Eli. Like, because if this anniversary gift I have in mind for young Eli, he would have probably been the one kid that would have bought it out of the whole town. The only one kid because he's the only kid that liked this movie. These were Topps trading cards
for Congo.
Of course, it was the 90s. There were trading cards for every movie. I had a bunch of them. I mean, I had Jurassic Park ones, so of course they made.
That makes sense though. Jurassic Park was
of course, but I'm saying, but of course, like they tried.
They would have tried.
They probably tried to market the exact or merchandise. I guess the exact same way they did Jurassic Park is just nowhere near as.
Yeah, the studio was counting on this being at the same level.
So then this has to be rated PG-13, right? Is it? I didn't even.
It's 13. Yeah.
Okay. It has, I mean, if it's like,
they were chopping up gorillas.
if it's Jurassic Park 2.0, it has to be PG-13. Like,
oh man, how would you like to be the guys that are in charge of making like the trading cards, the birthday sets, or like we're pulling the Jurassic Park playbook, guys. We're doing it.
I'm going to.
You know what's crazy? Because I was also looking up because like there's the product placement for Taco Bell, and I was like, well, maybe it was Taco Bell that did the Congo stuff.
It's not.
It was not. It was Burger King, and it was a line of Congo watches.
Wow.
Burger King used to do watches because I have Nightmare for Christmas watches from the 90s that are Burger King watches.
There was 3.
That's crazy.
There was 3 you could get.
Only 3? So okay.
There was 3 versions you could get.
Yeah, they didn't believe in it that much.
There was the blue one that had Amy's eye on it.
Okay.
Well, that's going in the garbage.
There was a red one that I think had the killer apes like part of their face that like real close up in the camera when they killed Bruce Campbell. And my personal favorite was the black one, which the band had a bunch of weird Amy faces of her all looking like this. And then it was like her face in the watch being like just closer going.
Was it a Swatch watch though? If it was
it was
they were
watches.
cheap digital. They were like digital watches. I had the Nightmare for Christmas ones. There were like 4 or 5 of them. I had them all up.
Did these come with a kids meal or did you have to pay for them?
No, you had to pay. I think you had to buy it.
You had to pay for them.
Buy them. They were like an extra like thing because they were watches. They didn't just come with like you had to go there and buy them.
If you guys want to go in with me, literally get all 3 of them from us on eBay.
Yep.
$24.99.
Wow.
Wow.
That shows you where the market is on Congo.
Yeah.
You know what I was just thinking too? Sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just like, when we were discussing the rating, Dave, Mad Love must have been rated R, and that's why I wasn't allowed to go.
I bet you're right.
I'm gonna make the guess there.
I bet you're right. Because I do think she goes topless at one point.
She might go topless. She probably does. They definitely have sex, and she threatens to kill herself, I think. Like, that's the whole plot. Like she's suicidal and like a whole thing. $24.99. I mean, we could rotate them. Like, so like I'll send Dave after I wear it, we like pass them all around.
Yeah.
Bigger
and you don't even have to send it to me. You guys can just send them to each other.
Well, I'm thinking
for the 3 of us.
For only being $24.99.
You're buying them right now, aren't you?
No.
Yes.
I'm thinking about it, but good news.
He already
clicked
purchase.
3 sets. So we each could have a set.
Oh man. You guys are like your luck.
And if you think about it, hear me out.
They're like friendship bracelets, guys.
They're like friendship bracelets.
Oh my god.
We each could wear one. I want the one with Amy's face all over it.
Now, would it make sense for you guys to like trade bands and faces? So
It's a mix and match.
That's a really good. We could like switch bands around.
Start Congo watch modding.
Yes.
In 2024.
Just think about if we're ever like, let's just say, right, like this ever gets to the point where like we get invited to a con or something.
Yeah.
Like we're all standing up on stage. We all got our modded Congo watches. They're like, what's on your wrist? We're like, these are just our Congo friendship.
You wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Here's a question.
Oh my God.
And I don't want the obvious answer, which is this movie isn't successful, which I know from money wise it was. But what I mean is like people don't look fondly on it. Like it's like but with us making 800 Jurassic Parks and whatever, why don't they redo Congo in 2020? Like with special effects now and like why don't we make a modern?
I think it's hilarious you bring this up, Jamie, because I think about this.
Doing it?
No, because all the time it's like, oh, that's a great concept, but they screwed it up the first time and they never go back to it.
So,
they never go back to it. The only one they went back to a couple times was like Punisher. Was the only one.
I get it. Jurassic Park is successful, so we're going to keep going with it. Right. I get it. I'm not dumb, but what I'm saying is like, why not like try a resurgence?
Yeah,
because they need something new. I assume, and it's not new, but it's a way to just take something like that most people hopefully have not seen now at this point in 20.
Yeah,
I would bet name recognition on Congo is probably really low.
Yeah. And it would be hard to find a market for. Since we are all currently so deep in the Planet of the Apes stuff, and you'd be doing such similar stuff.
I forgot about Planet of the Apes, but like, are they though? Those apes are.
I don't know. I saw the new Planet of the Apes. I don't know, man. I didn't think it was that great.
They haven't been good for a long time.
These apes aren't sophisticated in Congo though. Like you know,
the books
they are diamond protectors.
But they're not going to be like the Planet of the Apes. They're going to
they're not taking over the world, but
we need them like Deep Blue Sea. Like
honestly,
we need like smart apes, which apes are. I'm not trying to gorillas are, but what I mean is like, you know how we called that smart sharks, whatever. Like we need like the equivalent of like Deep Blue Sea.
I want to buy a smart shark.
Who doesn't want a smart shark?
If I had to guess, you probably won't see a Congo remake just because one. There's the places where they would film in Africa are probably the most turmoil they've ever been.
Well, they could film in like Costa Rica instead.
Yeah.
But then
it's the same.
That's where they filmed Jurassic Park. What?
Yeah.
Then you get monkeys like swimming on, like diamond monkeys swimming on the beach.
No, in the rainforest. In the rainforest.
I have to believe that these cave monkeys would find ocean caves because it's like their vacation property.
So it'd be like Avatar 2.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And like, they're like,
are we going to reduce the stakes like Avatar 2 did? Exactly. Like we saved the planet in
any avatars.
Saved the planet in the first one. Second one, we just beat up a ship. That's it. So for Congo 2, we killed the volcano. This time we're going to just kind of bulldoze an anthill.
You've never seen the Avatar movies, Jamie, you said?
We're going to build a privacy fence. That's what
I wish I could say you are missing something, but I cannot say that.
Yeah.
The 3D was really cool and novel the first time.
Yeah, in whatever year that was, but like
So before we get too far, John, let me pitch a little concept to you. As I
love it. Let's
new content. I mean, I think this is something we put behind a paywall. We set up a Patreon. If your game,
shit, let's
literally there is. I mean, I'll buy the Sega Saturn you would need to play it on. But
you don't have to. I already have one.
There's a Congo the movie, The Lost City of Zinj game.
Yep.
If it's a Sega Saturn, there's a Sega Saturn game, Dave.
There is.
Those are notoriously very expensive now to get one.
$180.
That's a cheap Sega Saturn game. A game that you would want to play, those are like over $1,000 each.
That's crazy.
First off, Can
I just get an emulator and play this thing?
Yes, you absolutely can. But
done. Coming up.
Oh my God!
It looks
Where
good
can we play it?
It looks like Doom, but you're shooting monkeys.
Monkeys, exactly.
Shut up.
It does. It looks just like Doom, but but when you shoot the monkey, like weird ketchup squirts come out. And like, there's this thing where it tracks your heart rate, which I don't understand.
Just monkey murder.
What?
Yeah, it's legit Doom, but you're shooting monkeys, alligators.
We're all looking it up right now. Are there hippos?
I'm sure there is. Come on.
I'm looking at the list right now. Dave, there is monkeys.
Of course.
Iguana,
spiders,
killer iguanas, alligators, spiders.
Oh, shit.
And there are some levels you play as Amy.
And just say,
man.
You just
Wait
like,
a minute.
for as low as $20 a month, you all can invest in helping us support John as he goes on this journey.
oh my God. And like when the monkeys attack you, they punch at the screen.
Of course,
so it
like the
fills
old
it up with a
shooters.
big monkey fist.
Yep.
Wow. I would just recommend somebody you search YouTube. You can watch the game there. Like,
Listen,
Guys.
Dave.
it has 3 difficulties. I'll give them that. They got easy, medium, hard.
Let me throw this out there, Dave. I would go halvesies with you. Oh my God, there's a dinosaur. You fight a dinosaur.
Guys, I can't. My Steam app is not working, but there is a modern Congo game. Well,
they remade the game and not the movie.
I can't find out if it's like.
It's a survival. I just found it.
Yeah,
it's a survival. It's a above.
We can play together.
Survival game where you build a base and you defend it from monkeys.
Yeah, it's co-op. It's co-op.
I don't know. You all might be on your own on that one.
You know what, Jamie? Maybe we should do a
I can't get
YouTube,
to the Steam app for some reason.
Maybe we should do a YouTube video, Jamie, where
it's $4.99. Yeah, play it.
You and I play it. We see how far we can get. I'm looking it up. It's literally called Congo 4, even though it's the only one.
So is this like an Italian video game?
It's a online and local co-op horror action game set in the dark and haunting jungle. Light-fearing demons attack from the shadows, work together as a team to find rescue from wave after wave of intense scavenging monkeys or apes.
It sounds like somebody made a video game without permission.
Yes, it does.
It is 100%. All the reviews for it are bad.
No, not possible.
Except for there's a good one where it said they finally beat the game and it took 200 bullets. They said, I don't think these are really monkeys. They look like demons.
You know what?
It's a reskin.
Yeah.
Not only did they make one for the Saturn, they made one for the Genesis.
Wow.
So they really thought this was like going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they really were like, this is going to be it, man.
There's a boss monkey you fight.
Boss monkey.
Well, speaking of monkeys, I'm going to dial us back in.
Yeah.
I know I started this, but Dave does have a critter corner this week. Any guesses?
Is it a leech?
It is a hippopotamus now.
Thank God.
It is the Eastern lowland gorilla, or Gorilla beringei, which is the largest of all gorilla subspecies, which makes it the largest primate on the planet.
Wait, what's the name of this gorilla? Sorry, what is this?
The Eastern lowland gorilla. This is a mountain gorilla, which is a subspecies of the Eastern. I learned a lot of stuff I didn't mean to learn today. So, I think these are officially mountain gorillas, but they are a subspecies of the Eastern lowland gorillas. They live in Eastern lowlands and the mountain forests of the Democratic Republic of Congo, of course. They are the largest primate and great ape on the planet. See, I used your great ape there.
Yeah.
The individuals tell each other apart by the shape and wrinkles around their nose. Like their identifying facial features are their nose and the wrinkled patterns around their nose. That's how they tell each other apart. They live in family groups called troops that are as big as 30 gorillas, which are made up of female gorillas and one dominant male gorilla. They are led by a dominant older male called a silverback. That is usually 8 years or older, is usually when they start getting some silver and some patterning on their back. Their habitat has shrunk from around 8,100 square miles to 4,600 square miles in the last 50 years, thanks to one other species. Give you one guess what species that is. They are omnivores, but they mainly eat leaves, shoots, roots, fruits, and bark. That's what they eat constantly because they have a high caloric need and they're eating leaves, which have very few calories in them. So gorillas are constantly grazing and sleeping. That's what they do. They graze, procreate, and sleep. That's what it's pretty sweet.
Oh, nice.
But most of the fauna they eat are like grubs, worms, bugs, those kind of things. They don't necessarily hunt other animals necessarily. They had been on the endangered list since 1995, the year this movie came out. They've been on the endangered list. And we share about 98% of our DNA with the gorilla. The average silverback, I went and looked this up just for my own sake, because I did want to know how big they are as a comparison to how big Amy was. The average silverback, which is the big dominant male, it starts at about 400 pounds. So she has to be at least 200, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't seem to be giving anybody any trouble. But that's our buddy, the Eastern Lowland gorilla. Glad to see him. Wish this was actually more accurate to what they actually are. Because the primate area of zoos is an area that I enjoy going to, and going and seeing the gorillas is always sort of like awe-inspiring because they are just huge. You can kind of, to the point Jamie made earlier, I think I like them for the opposite reason, because you can kind of look in their eyes and see the intelligence, and they're checking you out as much as you're checking them out and all that stuff. So I dig that about getting to see them. But yeah, that's everything I've got. Any other facts or any other insights on real gorilla?
I am disappointed, Dave, that you did not use the Congo reference of that. Yes, they're like 400 pounds, but 300 of it's in their ass.
Oh my god!
A little disappointed.
I was just gonna say,
right in the old dump truck.
Last time I saw gorillas in a I don't really go to zoos, but it must have been either Animal Kingdom or one of the, somewhere where there were gorillas. I watched one gorilla steal another gorilla's baby, and then watched it chase and it was like kind of hilarious. Like just the interact, like one just took it like and put it on
like
its
a stuffed
chest
animal,
and ran away. Yeah, like it took it, put it like they latch on, like it took it, grabbed it, put it there, and ran. And then the other one was like, "Fuck no," and took it, and like
freaking out.
It was hilarious. Like I watched them just like battle it out. And,
just a casual kidnapping. No big
I
deal.
watched a gorilla kidnapping happen.
If anything, that one person
Amber
be like,
alert
thank God, don't have to worry about that anymore. Carried around another big ass monkey.
So Eli, what are we following up the old Congo movie with on Campfire Tales?
This may shock you, but we're going to talk about tales about monkeys.
Oh, good.
This isn't going to be
What a
7 quotes and a lie.
No, it's not going to be 3 monkey cults.
It's not a monkey salesman, is it? For the love of God, let's at least not have another monkey salesman.
Listen,
Jim Jones can go spit.
The fact that somehow that is not tied to his legacy, that this man who people claimed was like a
mass murderer
or like got mass murder, but that he got the way he started his money was by selling monkeys door to door, disappoints me. Because that guy is door to door. That dude, he was such a clown.
Oh.
And like he worked at a nursing home, but like he kind of got let go because like he kept pulling mean pranks on people.
Okay.
Like there was one guy who's afraid of dark, and he kept like locking him in dark rooms.
Good Lord.
And like then he was like, then like there was this thing, and they're like, well, we fired him. And he's like, nah, I'm leaving. I'm going to start preaching or whatever. But like he needed money, so he literally went. He was a door to door monkey salesman. He sold pet monkeys door to door.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank y'all for listening to the podcast.
There's one pet monkey right there.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh man. I can't tell. Is that Ash or is that?
Oh, it's Ash. Sorry.
That's Ash. Okay.
Mama's boy always has to be.
Gotcha.
Like...
So, thank you for listening. We do ask that you subscribe, rate the show, give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. If you do have any ideas or concepts, or you do want to back the up and coming John Congo video game journey.
Yeah, you got to back that.
You can send me an email at podcast@thewickedwild.com. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do that at X at Wicked Wild We Are, /, the horror only community at Wicked Wild We Are there as well. And on Instagram at Wicked Wild Pod. We do have a related or exact video version of all of our reviews and all of our Campfire Tales available on YouTube. You can just search the Wicked Wild Podcast over there and find us. And that's been growing. It's been a lot of fun. It seems like a lot of people have been enjoying our shorts where I pull out one joke or a goofy moment from each of our podcasts and put it up there. And we've been getting a lot of feedback on those. It's a lot of fun. If you want to learn more about the podcast or about any of our hosts, we do have a website that we stood up. There's not any new information on there. I'm still working on that. But if you want to see what is there as far as book reviews, movie reviews, and other things that we've put together, you can go to thewickedwild.com and you'll find us there. Anything else? Have I missed anything?
I would just like to say that if our first foray into video game design isn't the new Congo video game, I'll be a little upset.
You'll be disappointed. And it's got a tickle meter, right? Instead of a health bar, there's a tickle meter.
Like, I'm thinking we get real interactive, right? And like you have it reads your mic, and if you're in trouble, you go, nice. Tickle Amy. And like,
oh, okay.
Amy with her big dump truck comes over and like tickles you back to health. It's like, go enjoy a martini, green juice.
So, Eli, what do you think Amy's favorite fruit is?
Anything with drugs or alcohol in it.
I just assumed it was apricots.
Oh, you're the
good night, everybody. Worst. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.